That's right back, Charlie.
You always just active and defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
People deluded, I'm back again. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. It's Friday, so I hope everyone's had a progressive week. Apologies for being late. Obviously, good morning, good afternoon, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're all doing well and safe. I hope everyone's blessed. As usual, Twitch gang, appreciate you lot. I can't lie, man. I'm in a bit of a bad mood. I can't lie to you, man. Obviously, last month, you know, in terms of having a business, there's good and bad cycles in it, but 150 hours on Twitch. Let's just say I made less than a PS5. So I'm a bit in a sour mood. Fortunately, YouTube's there, which is better. But yeah, I'm just in a sour mood. I can't lie, man. I want blood. I want everyone's blood. I'm on the Scrooge thing. But yeah, I appreciate you lot for tuning in. As usual, it's Friday. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. I hope everyone's had a week to remember. You know, we're going to talk about the Premier League games to come, the FA Cup semi-finals, the Europa League, where Barcelona got absolutely dealt with by Frankfurt. You know, the Frankfurt fans took over the stadium. You know, they regulated them on the pitch. How 30,000 fans traveled and however much that correlates to being in the ground is a completely another thing, but they regulated. Obviously, I'm not going to lie, West Ham are celebrating like they've won the Europa League already. You know, they beat Sevilla. It was a wank fest. Yesterday after beating Lyon, it's a wank fest, but shout out to them. You know, there's a very big opportunity for 3 British teams. Not that I care because Arsenal are not involved, but 3 British teams to claim the Europa League, the Conference League, and the big one, the Champions League. Now, you know, I don't know let me know your opinions on that. We're going to get into all of that, people. Like I said, Premier League, FA Cup, general talking points, all those sort of things. And I see some of you lot's comments. Allegedly, Sean Dyche has been sacked with 8 games left of the season. You would have imagined Burnley like stability and stuff. I wonder when I see things like this, it makes me feel that this has been brewing for a hot second. Like this isn't something new. They've been planning to do this, and it was a case of the right time. One sec, people. I'm still here. Hopefully you can hear me. That just tells me, you know, they're no idiots. You know, they're a Premier League club fighting for survival, and it does look like they'll stay up, but it's in a knife edge, isn't it? So with 8 games left of the season, now's probably not the right time to sack a man, but this probably tells us that it was going to happen, innit? You know, it was something they've been thinking about for a while. Maybe Burnley reckon they've indirectly secured safety so they can afford to do this, but that's a big shocker. Surely he must have been at Burnley longer than Pep Guardiola, but I look at Sean Dyche, Pep, Klopp off the top of my head. There might be a couple. There might be literally one more. In fact, I'm not. They're probably the 3 longest serving gaffers, and he's gone now, innit? So it's all a myth. It's all a myth. Obviously, this weekend's a jam-packed day of content, people. Do not forget, today is another jam-packed day. Across Twitch and YouTube after this, we'll be focusing a bit more on Arsenal. Later today, I'm going to have Mo Hader on my channel. That's at 1:30 also on Twitch, people. So, yeah, man, it's looking mad, yeah. 10 years at Burnley, but as you know, it's not about what you've done. It's about where you're going, and everything has to end sometime. Let's actually get into that. I've clicked on the BBC's website. Do you know what? Maybe it's best that we go on Burnley, you know, because they'd be there, innit, really. Okay, now Sean Dyche was Sean Dyche was the Premier League's longest serving manager, having been appointed Burnley manager in October 2012. That was a year after I left secondary school. The longest serving manager in the division is now Pep Guardiola, not Pep Guardiola. I'm capping. Pep's second. Klopp is first. Klopp has 6 years and 189 days, and crazy stuff, man. I mean, you lot have alerted me. Oh shit. Club statement. We're here, people. We're here. So yeah, man. Let's jump straight into this one there, people. Burnley Football Club can confirm the club has parted ways with Sean Dyche, assistant manager Ian Wowen, first team coach Steve Stone, and goalkeeping coach Billy Mercer. Sean Dyche has another job lined up, but I would imagine, you wouldn't want to leave, you'd be sacked. Sean Dyche was the longest serving manager in the Premier League, having been in charge for 9.5 years of Burnley, overseeing a period which will go down as one of the most successful in the club's history. Maybe it's a trajectory thing. They want to do more than what they're doing, but considering they've got West Ham next and an informed West Ham, and it's Friday and they play on Sunday, so they must have known this was happening. But Sean Dyche probably led training yesterday and everything, probably said his goodbyes to the players, but he's led training all week. You've got rid of the assistant manager, so I don't know if we could wake up in the next hour and there's a manager appointed, but he's not going to have long to train with these guys. And who's going to be in charge? The Burnley, does it matter whether they stay in the league or not? I don't know. During this time, the team was promoted twice from the Championship, having achieved two top half Premier League finishes and qualified for Europe for the first time in 51 years. Firstly, we would like to place on record our sincere thanks to Sean and his staff for their achievements at the club over the last decade. During his time at Turf Moor, Sean Dyche has been a credit both on and off the pitch, respected by players, staff, supporters, and the wider football community. However, results this season have been disappointing. And while this was an incredibly difficult decision, with 8 crucial games of the campaign remaining, we feel a change is needed to give the squad the best possible chance of retaining its Premier League status. The process of replacing Sean has begun, and further announcements will be made to supporters in due course. So there you have it. It's looking like a Sean Allardyce job. 6 years. Crazy. So weird to do it. So weird, to be honest, do it after the season. Appreciate you lot support, Rico, man. Come on, 10 years down the drain, boy. And he probably knew it was coming. Appreciate that, my guy, man. Appreciate that. We keep going, man. Man's been here. There's good and bad periods. I don't know why, but they think every content creator is clear, bro. I'll make a lot more doing certain things I used to do. Are you great that I could go on the high road right now and make it happen? Like it's days like this that I consider that shit. I can't lie to you. I'll be 100% honest, man. Man, I capping with this. I don't know about Diego Simeone to Burnley. I mean, he'd be right up their street, but come on. Just when he was starting to increase the diversity quotas and bring some flavor and whatnot to Burnley, Cornet's coming in, Workhouse is in, probably a couple of dons. So it's looking crazy for Sean Dyche. But yeah, this was initially what I saw. 8 games left, he's gone, innit? And then obviously, where does that leave the Premier League table then? But to be fair, you know what? Yeah, even though the talk is around Everton, with 8 games left, Everton's form is actually better than Burnley's. Again, I wouldn't have thought that. The sentiment doesn't tend towards that. But in the last 5 games, Everton, obviously they won their last game, but they got 3 L's and 2 W's. Burnley have 1 win in their last 5. Who was that against? It was against Everton, which was a big point there. Big result. Obviously, they're flirting with relegation. There's 8 games left, and in relation to the people below them, they've got a game in hand on Watford and Norwich. And the wickedest thing, I still believe Norwich and Watford are gone. Like, there's nothing they can do. But when you look at it, they're only 2 points behind Burnley. Finishing on top of Burnley still makes you go down. But still cool. Like, you lot can't even see what's going on. What's going on here? Share the screen. Look, it's all cagey there at the bottom. Maybe a new manager bounce can help them. You saw what I wouldn't say Leeds are safe yet. As long as you ain't got 40 points, you can't say that. But they're doing all right under Jesse March. They're turning the corner. Obviously, when Eddie Howe came in, Newcastle started doing their thing as well. Again, Thomas Frank had a bit of a wobble at a point with Brentford, but they're out of it. Southampton, I hope no wins in their last 5. They're bucking Arsenal. So you know what? That's probably gonna say tomorrow. But you'd imagine that stays the same. But yeah, man, Burnley is crazy. They have to win all their games, really and truly. Even winning at the weekend, depending on what Everton got Leicester. Even if Everton do you a favor, you need to beat West Ham, and you still won't go above them. So it's political, man. Nah, man, I'm saying this fuckery. It's like just when Sean Dyche is starting to bring the flavors and whatnot, less fish and chips, man, are bringing 2 jollof for lunch and that. Got rid of, man. Like, it's deep. Like, I mean, Cornet must have got shagged, because I know they must have sold Cornet to maddest of dreams. Yeah, we're a Premier League team. The manager's been here for 8 years or 10 years or whatever. We're a stable Premier League team. We're a family club. We're trying to do this. We've qualified for Europe. And now, look, such is football. Cornet must have got sold some dreams. He's rocked up at Burnley. Can't see no. He probably thought he was going to join the London lifestyle or the Manny lifestyle or something. He got zanged. The one thing I'd say, if Burnley go down, Cornet is getting a move in it. And probably that Waghouse, brother. A couple of their defenders will get moves, but it's peak, isn't it, really? Like, to be honest, this is the game, innit? They're flirting with relegation. I don't think Burnley will go down, even though I can't cap. I hope they go down, but yeah, man, I don't know. Like, look at that. What do you lot saying is the relegation battle? Because this is probably the hottest relegation battle, top 4 battle. And if we force it, top 6, and if we force it a bit more, Premier League battle, then we've seen like the league's open. Like Liverpool and City, they're going to be playing each other in the FA Cup this weekend. But look, there's a point cleared. There's a point. City are a point cleared. Liverpool got United, I believe, on Tuesday. So it's a big fixture turnaround for Liverpool. So that's political. Obviously, Chelsea are third in it. Spurs could catch them, but Chelsea probably going to rock up at third. I'd say anything, if you want to force it from 4th to maybe 8th, 9th is political. So you can force that. Relegation race, I don't know what happens there. Leeds are not out of it, even though I think Jesse March is. Technically, these lot are not out of it. Again, there's only 8 games, but these are the teams. And to be honest, Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle, Leeds, you probably have to do a lot better next season. A lot of teams still got a lot to play for. You're right. 100%. And it's brazy. Again, let's see Burnley. Make sure you're watching them ads, people. Support the thing. This month's been shit. Burnley fixtures. Who you lot got? Who you lot got left? Google Chrome don't want to show me. So yeah, Burnley's next fixtures, obviously they've got West Ham away, they've got Southampton, they've got Wolves, they've got Watford, they've got Villa, they have to travel to Spurs in May. Well, I don't know why. Well, always forget to share the screen, but yeah, you can see them yourselves, people. These are Burnley's last fixtures. And obviously, to be honest with you, bro, I ain't gonna get onto a man for losing to City or Chelsea, really. Like Burnley probably would have accepted that, but they probably would have. They beat. You know what? Yeah, they did. They gave Liverpool a game and then lost. They got a point against United. They were poor against Leicester, smacked up in that. They were good against Palace. I feel good against Spurs, but it's a results-driven business. It's the business end. Smacked against Brentford, lost to City. Beat Everton, fair play. Lost to Norwich, which is a 6-pointer, and that's if he probably might have kept his job. Crazy. It's political. Like I said, West Ham away, then they have Southampton, then they have Wolves, then they have Watford, then they have Villa, then they travel to Spurs, and then they have Villa again. No, sorry. Then they have Villa, sorry. Yeah, they play Villa twice. I'm not bugging out there. Yeah, they play Villa twice in quick succession, and they end the season with Eddie Howe's Newcastle. I'm sure Eddie Howe's managed Burnley before, Burnley's run is decent compared to Everton's peak, but I don't know, man. Can't lie, I don't get the sacking. Why now? Are they hoping for a new manager bounce? It must be, bro. It must be. Score predictions for Arsenal United. Let's get through Southampton, bro. Ski, but probably 1-0 each way. Burnley saw Leeds clip Bielsa and thought it could work. Maybe they could bring Bielsa on a snaky thing in that. In fact, I don't think that would be the right one. Brazy, man. It's brazy. Save Sean Dykes. The weather in South be popping. One love to you lot, man, for tuning in. But yeah, man, Sean Dykes is gone. Like, he's gone. You are not seeing this. He's gone. So yeah, man, I didn't expect to be talking about Sean Dykes losing his job. Again, not that I can off the top of my head, it's still early, but in terms of people that potentially could have lost their job, he could have technically been there, but I would have thought the Watford gaffer, even though you've just stepped in more or less, Roy, Watford never last long. Again, who else is there? Well, Lampard, I would have thought Lampard would have got the clip before you, but it looks like he's bought himself some time, still favoured by the board and that. Brazy, who knows, man? Everton might as well sack Lampard and bring Sean Dykes. I'm sure Sean Dykes is relishing that. So yeah, that's Sean Dykes, people. But yeah, if we get into the Europa League sort of football and everything else, people. In fact, let's start with it's better to go over games and then preview them. So yeah, let me, just because I think it's a bit easier than looking at it on screen for me, people. Let's look at the Europa League action. Now, if you was under a rock yesterday and you don't know what happened, Nkunku watch again. Leipzig 2, Atalanta 0. Generally on that game, Atalanta started. We did a watch along. Big up the Twitch gang, because we did a straight watch along for the 2 games in Atalanta, Leipzig, and Barcelona's game. So one love for you lot that was there and all the support yesterday. But watching that game, I actually feel Atalanta started a lot better. They were onto them, but it's you've got to want to kill teams. They weren't trying to really hit Leipzig where it hurt. Leipzig on the counter attack was dangerous, specifically to Nkunku. I think he's got it, man. I think he should forget being able to play in midfield, forget false nine, learn to become not just a false nine but a proper striker now. Like, that's you in it. I see it. You know, Lacazette's not the best example, but he reminds me a bit of Lacazette when Lacazette actually used to be 30 and at Lyon, and he was always linked with moves. Like, he makes decisions quickly. He's good on the counter attack. I would say for Nkunku, sometimes the passing, like he's passing to players where it's not really going to help them, and he could play with his head up, but he's lovely, man. He drops into midfield. He goes onto the left. He goes onto the right. He's good on the counter attack. He can drive with a ball. Obviously, he can score goals. You can tell he's a thinker. The penalty is never a penalty, but it's a dark arts thing. Like, he understands I'm overrunning it. He's conned the keeper. That's the sort of stuff I need in it. And at 24 years of age, he's going to become lit. The problem is, if you're Nkunku, it's a World Cup year, innit? So going, moving to a certain club or whatever could boost it or disadvantage you. You got to remember, next season, it's not the World Cup in May. We're playing next season for a couple of months, and then there's November. I'm not saying this will. I don't think he's coming to Arsenal, but Arsenal, United, PSG. Let's just say he goes to these clubs and they're not playing the false nine the same way Leipzig's doing. He's not scoring all these goals and doing this stuff. That might cost you a place, or it might make sense because he is coming into his home at 24 to stay at Leipzig one more year. Do your thing. If November comes, you get that move, you do well, then it is what it is, people. So it's a decision. Money talks and everything else walks, but you never know. He's got it in it, and I think this could be his last season. Probably will be his last season at Leipzig. So it is what it is. A terrific player. Again, one thing, I know he's having a great season in terms of goals, and I don't know if every season he's going to score all these goals. Like, he's the 3rd French player to have scored 30 plus goals in all comps this season. He's only Benzema and Mbappe. If you're next to them, man, you're doing all right, innit? I don't know if he'll continue doing that, but sometimes you see someone score bare goals, and it's not that it's accidental, but it's like you kind of have a feeling it's not going to last. With Nkunku, the goals he's scoring, they're thinkers man's goals. Like, obviously not every goal is glamorous, but the way he's moving, I'm not saying you're going to be this prolific, but I don't think it's a fluke is what I'm saying in terms of Nkunku. Like, it was, I think first half an hour by his own standards, he was a bit quiet. He had a stronger second part of the first half. Sometimes could pick a pass a bit earlier, but he's got great composure. I love how he drifts out wide. The one thing, as I said, is this the breakout season where at 24 years of age, it's now gone up a level now? Like, you're getting caught at the right time, or is this a purple patch? We'll never know. As I said, I'm a big fan of the dark arts because football is a thinker's man game. I really like his dribbling ability, and I don't like to use the word dribbling. I like to say specifically ball carrying, because just because you're a good dribbler doesn't necessarily mean you're a good ball carrier. If you don't know what I mean, I'm talking about literally getting distance in it. Just because you can dribble don't mean you're making distance. Like, it can actually harm you and things, and we see plenty of that. And I do think, maybe it's me as an Arsenal fan, I never really am exposed to that, but I think he's sick at that, isn't it? Like, I really think he's sick at that. That Gavidal brother, the guy at Leipzig, the centre half, I really do like that 20-year-old. Had a bit of a shit Euros, if I can remember correctly. Not ready for the big move yet. Potential's there, left-footed, decent, good marker of the game and that, but he's too raw right now. I think Leipzig, you need to stay there a couple of years. You're only 20, The passing isn't consistent. The marking isn't consistent. Off the ball isn't good enough. Composure isn't necessarily the best when it comes to tackling. His pocket does get picked a lot. He is a bit cumbersome, a bit clumsy. These are things that you're going to have to get out of your game. He's got a good pedigree. That Gavidal brother could be a serious asset for someone at left-sided centre-back, but he's going to need to be coached a lot. He's still, for me, got that bozo gene in him, if I'm real. Gabriel's got that at Arsenal. I love him, but Tellerman's linked with Arsenal, but they've got that. They just start moving mad for a second and start doing silly things, really. So it's all mad, really and truly. So there's that. Let me put in Nkunku watch. Nkunku and Gavida. I like that. And again, he's good pedigree, man. I'm sure Luka Modric must be giving Real Madrid a somewhat sort of scouting report on him. I don't think he's, like I said, I don't think he's ready for them sort of moves there. But from what I see, you like Leipzig, couple more years. Don't know what going for Szoboszlai, because whenever I'm watching Leipzig, he's always holding bench. Like I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, again, I don't know how tall Nkunku is, but you're right. For a small man, for what he looks like on the TV, he looks fairly decent in the air. He tries to challenge in that. He's quite strong as well. Like, come on, man. I swear he's, while I know he's French and that, I swear he's of Congolese descent. The man they're solid. Like, the man they are different. I went to school with hella them youths, like solid. Them man are solid from a young age, like not just Congolese. I let them big up the Africans locked in. You man are big up my guy David, bro. My Nigerian guy. If he was here on my birthday, you heard me just bantering him in the WhatsApp group. I was chatting shit. I was like, I'm gonna fuck you up. You get it? That's because we used to play fight, and he's a big you in it. And I got heart, but he used to slump, man. Still, like I remember once I was chatting shit. He's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get you. I remember once I stepped out of KFC, I see him. He's all banter. He's my reg. I'm like, bro, maybe I have to do this thing right now, like let's do this tomorrow. He cracks my shit up, but I try to hold it up. Even my guy Theo, God, he's probably the biggest African brother I know. I remember it was in school days, it was my side of the year versus his. I don't know why, but we had PE and I went to the medical room for some reason. The medical's on the other side of the school. I popped the toilet. I don't know why I've gone to the toilet. I don't even need to use it. I've kicked the door. I see my man in there. It was like a jail thing. Like I just got absolutely. I was like, bro, me and you are cool in it. Like the beef is not us in it, but let's just chill out in it. But yeah, man. So yeah, Nkunku's solid still. So yeah, Nkunku, Emre tried to save us. Terrific season for Nkunku, in it. In Europa League, 3 goals, 4 assists. In the Bundesliga, I know some will say Bundesliga tax can and should and probably has to be applied slightly. What tax rate you lot go with, I don't know. I'm gonna be generous. I say 10%. Some people might do a bit more, but I'd say 10% Bundesliga tax. 17 goals in 29. Whatever way you look at it, is Starboy shit. They went out of the Champions League. 7 goals in 6 games. That's Starboy shit. DFB Pokal. Why I'm just listing it because it sounds wavy. 4 games, 3 goals. He's moving mad. And for the last 2 years, he's probably been doing all right in terms of goals, people. But again, have you gone up a level now, or is it adapting? I don't know, people. We'll have to see. He's still young, but at 24, it feels like everything is popping for Nkunku, really and truly. Europa League. Let me make sure. I don't even know who's facing who in the next round of all of these cups. But yeah, man, where the Europa League is concerned, though, people, as you know, if you don't know already, as I said, Leipzig 2, Atalanta 0. Leipzig go through 3-1 on aggregate. West Ham dispatched Lyon 3-0. West Ham, I do think the last 2 games in Europa League is celebrating like you won the bloody cup. But shout out to West Ham. Shout out to the players, the fans. David Moyes deserves all the praise he gets because guys tried to rub him out after the United thing. He's doing all right. I'm sure that's his second spell at West Ham. They're doing well. Terrible defending by Lyon. Lyon moving Kalam, like the Declan Rice's goal, terrible defending. The header, nobody marking Dawson. I can't remember who slapped in the third, but whoever slapped in the third, shout out you in it. They dispatched them. West Ham deserve it. But Bowen, terrible defending for that. They could win the Europa League and qualify for the Champions League, or finish 4th and do both. So they deserve all the credit where due. They dealt with Lyon, innit? They dealt with Lyon, and you saw the Lyon fans rioting in the booth and that. It went to extra time, but after almost bottling, Rangers won 3-1 against Braga, and the big one was Eintracht Frankfurt 3, Barcelona 2, Frankfurt winning 4-3 on aggregate. Now, it looks a bit better on paper because it's 3-2. There was boog penalties and a couple booky things, and Dika getting himself sent off for no reason, but Frankfurt dealt with them. The fans took over the Camp Nou. Frankfurt were better than them. Kostic and my man, Nuff, or whatever his name is, the 20-year-old on the right-hand side, dealt with them. They were balling. They started strong. They scored the goals. It was a pen. Eric Garcia bugging out. For Barca, it's terrible. Aubameyang missing chances. Pedri injured. Busquets did score, but, they've got that imbalance. Gavi and Pedri did all right, but it's not an ability thing. Them games there with the psychological things, you can't be relying on the young teenagers, in my opinion. They've got an imbalance. A lot of the players ain't good enough. Some of the players that they're relying on are too old now. Some men are too young. It's just collapse. And Xavi ball, Xavi hype. It's taken a knock, really and truly. Frankfurt deserve it. They bought them. Absolutely bought them. Absolutely. The goal for my man Bora. Absolutely pumped to Stegen. Had no right to shoot from there. No right. You know, double from Kostic, you know. Double from Kostic. Are you sure? Yeah, double from Kostic, and that Bora brother scored. They packed them, you know. It looks a bit better because Barca chased the game towards the end, but you know, they had Frankfurt had 15 shots to Barca's 10. They had 7 on target to Barca's 4. Possession's obviously going to be with Barca, but as an Arsenal fan, I can tell you for free, possession don't be nothing if you don't do anything with it. And what can I say? Barcelona dislodged, dispatched, dislodged, dismantled, collapsed. This is terrible, really. You know, Araujo's having more chances as a centre half. He's showing why. I did think Barca are unlucky on another day. Do I think that's a harsh pen? It is a pen, but do I think it's a harsh pen? Given against Garcia, of course, but stop grabbing people. The penalty that they weren't allowed, they got shagged. I thought Busquets was onside before he's obviously scored that terrific one. You know, I can't lie, it was poetic justice to see officials going against Barcelona. And obviously, you look at Atletico Madrid and Barca, you man are staying at home. Villarreal, Real Madrid, and there's therefore one more team. There's therefore one more. Villarreal, Real Madrid. There's therefore someone else flying the flag for Spain in something. But yeah, it is what it is, people. And with that, the next round, the semi-finals of the Europa League reads West Ham, Frankfurt, Leipzig, Rangers. Hey, West Ham, win this thing, innit? I would put money on Leipzig. 2 German dons, Scotland, Aaron Ramsey. We're going to be supporting that. West Ham and that. Boy. So that's the Conference League. I mean, that's the Europa League. Let's look at the Conference League for people. Obviously, where the Conference League is concerned, Roma completed a comeback. Feyenoord are through. Marseille are through. All those Leicester are through after coming back from behind against PSV. I never watched it, but Leicester won 2-1. Marseille won 1-0. So Marseille won 3-1 on aggregate. Leicester won by the same scoreline on aggregate as the game ended in 2-1. Slavia Prague versus Feyenoord ended 3-1 to Feyenoord, so 6-4 to Feyenoord on aggregate. It was 5-2 to Roma against Glimt. They came from behind and smacked them 4-0. Tammy Abraham back in, Zinolio hat-trick and all them things. And it sets up the semi-finals of this thing even better because, you know, it's two... Well, technically, you know, the Arsenal lads will be facing each other. I didn't really want that, but it is what it is. You've got less... Well, to be fair, you know, we got 3 chances of an Arsenal lad. I know Ainsley Maitland-Niles is just a tourist, really and truly, on the bench at Roma, but I completely forgot. Leicester against Roma will be the semi-final first leg, so you've obviously got Ainsley there. Brendan Rodgers could do a thing. You know, Feyenoord against Marseille. I'd back Sao Pauli's meant to do it, but they're quite terrible defensively. So, yeah, man, you've got Feyenoord, Marseille, and Leicester, Roma. That's going to be political, ain't it, mate? It's absolutely brazy. Absolutely brazy. We're just going to have to see what's going on there. He actually moves like a striker, you're right? Filthy. Exactly, you can dribble laterally, which means you don't go forward. Fact. I don't really rate that Sosa, brother. They were playing him left back, but he's playing in the back 3. But still, if you're playing left back in the Euros, you know, and I'll never forget it. Do you lot remember? Like, the ball's on one side of the pitch. He's playing left back or left-sided centre-back. Gavidal, to go back to you. He's got a water bottle. There's a water bottle on the side. My man goes to pick up the water bottle. Play is happening. He tries to dash the water bottle and then gets collapsed. Thinkers man game. It doesn't matter where you're playing, how old you are. You got to use this. Leipzig winning the Europa League and German Cup. Again, Nkunku hat-trick against City. Bro, he's doing his thing, man. I mean, Leipzig ain't got no chance in it. Bayern, even though Bayern's collapsed at the moment, you know, question marks over Nagelsmann, aging squad, terrible form, problems over contracts. If they want him, he's gone, innit? All he got a social for Burnley. I don't know, man. Xavi complaining about the tickets being sold more to Frankfurt fans. So is Laporte, so is Araujo, which again plays a part, but myth, man. Hammers must be confident after last night's display. I can't lie. True, but you've got to forget it now, innit? You've got to forget it. It's gone. I mean, I wouldn't say there's not a need for Nkunku at Liverpool. And obviously, Klopp probably knows him better than others. You know, he's been buying a couple German-based players. And obviously, he's a German. So, why not? But is there a need? Obviously, Salah's probably going to sign a new deal. I don't know what's going on with Mane. You know, one probably needs to go. Just brought Diaz just not too long ago before that bought Jota. And Nkunku's quality players can play everywhere. And you can, like, he can play false 9. He can play out wide. He can play as in midfield. But I don't know if that's an immediate area of concern for Liverpool. DG, what's more impressive, City winning Champions League or West Ham winning Europa? I'd say West Ham winning Europa because City are expected to kind of be challenging for that. Respectfully to West Ham, yeah, it's not adapting, in it. You know, the favourites of Europa League have gone out, really and truly. Looking like a German final in the Europa League. Could be. You never know. You never know. So, yeah, obviously, that's the Europa League, Conference League, Europa League, all that good stuff to come, people. Away from all of that, though, don't forget we go live at 11:30. Brain for FA Cup settings. Obviously, Chelsea have done the bug thing. They've said to Conor Gallagher, fuck all of that. You're not playing against us, bro. Conor Gallagher will not be playing for Crystal Palace. I'll be cheering on Vieira's men. I do think there's magic of the FA Cup. It's a semi-final. It's at Wembley. Anything can happen. But I personally think it's a step too big for Palace. I think Chelsea are going to be wounded and they're going to want to hit back after, obviously, you know, good performance in the Champions League, but out fundamentally. That's, you know, it's cup competition. They're out of that. Obviously, they got to the League Cup final, lost that. In the league, I won't say there's never anything to play for. You try and finish in the strongest way, but they're not going to win the league, are they? So it's probably just third and done. So, yeah, man, this is their only way there. I hope so, bro. Elise, Bear, man, are coming back. I hope so, bro. I hope Vieira does a madness. But if I was betting money, I think it's a myth, man. I think you lose a lot with Gallagher, and I think Gallagher would be buzzing because there's a chance to win silverware. There's a chance to play at Wembley. There's a chance to show your I assume next season, the gaffer what you're on. You know, he's been denied a chance. And I think it is quite classless from Chelsea. We let players play against us in the FA Cup, but I get it. You know, I get it. You know, it is what it is. And yeah, man, it is what it is. You've obviously got City, Liverpool now. It's a big week for Liverpool. They got United on the weekend. I mean, on Tuesday on the weekend, they've got City. There's a number of injuries. I think there's question marks over Kyle Walker. Again, you'd have to do your own research, but it is what it is. I don't quite think that's going to be the same game as we saw in the league. I think there's not going to be the same tempo. I think there's going to, I don't want to say mass changes, but I think there will be a decent amount of rotation by both teams. So I don't think it will quite be the mad thing. But when you think of Klopp, you think of winning. And they could do the quadruple, you know. Obviously, they banked the League Cup, semi-finals of the Champions League, toe to toe with City for the league, you know. FA Cup again. Klopp ain't won that, has he? Here, you think that loan rule should be scrapped? No, I know there's beaky Arsenal fans talking about it, but no. So yeah, they probably won't be in that case then. But I still don't think I wouldn't say strongest teams, but I still think Liverpool and City are going to make a fair amount of rotation. It's brazy, man. And if you're Palace, who would you rather play if you're Palace? City or Liverpool? I don't know. If you're Chelsea, who would you rather play, City or Liverpool? If I was Chelsea, probably City, innit? Because there was a second where Thomas Tuchel, well, he beat him in the final, but Tommy Tuchel kind of has Pep Guardiola's number slyly. I hope it's full strength, but I expect to see rotation. I don't think we'll see the same lineups. I don't know if Diaz is going to come. That's going to be brazy, man. It's crazy how quickly the season finishes, isn't it, people? Like, we're almost at we are at the business end, but it's almost done, man. Crazy stuff. Apparently, Thomas Tuchel has apologized to Gallagher for missing out on the semi-final. There's no need to say sorry. It is what it is. Like, if I was them, I would do the same. Apparently, they met by coincidence in a restaurant a few weeks ago. But they meant, you know, the rules are the rules. And, you know, again, if they said, yeah, you play, and then Gallagher scores against them, what they're going to say. But it is what it is in that regards. Looking at the Premier League action to come, people. Boy, Premier League's a bit dead compared to all the other stuff, isn't it? Spurs 12:30 will be playing against Brighton. Brighton going to play shit, going to play nothing like the Brighton side that was last in North London. You know, as I always say it, Graham Potter always, I'm telling you, he's whoring himself out for that Spurs job. He always bends over backwards, pause for Spurs. Flipping slut. But anyways, yeah, you've got United, Norwich. That game might be closer than given credit for, you know, but I'd imagine United deal with them. Southampton, Arsenal. Southampton can't buy a win. Palace couldn't buy a win at home. Brighton couldn't score, let alone get 3 points. They bucked Arsenal. These fortunes changed. So, yeah, allegedly, Lacazette may or may not be fit, which I don't like to say it's a blessing, but maybe it forces Arteta to try some other stuff. I'm not confident for Southampton at all. I expect to win because you want to be serious if you want to do stuff, but I won't be surprised if Southampton play like a prime Barca. I very much doubt they're going to play like that same side that just got hit for 6 or however many goals Chelsea scored against them. Watford, Brentford, Ivan Toney's in good form. Watford trying to stay in the league. Sunday, you've got West Ham, Burnley. Technically managerless Burnley travel to West Ham, who are fresh off of still buzzing, probably over the Europa League victory. You've got Newcastle United against Brendan Rodgers. Eddie Howe against Brendan Rodgers. That could be a decent one. Newcastle, Leicester. Brazy. Midweek, actually, next week is political. Tuesday, Liverpool United will be doing a watch along for that. Wednesday, Chelsea, Arsenal. Brazy stuff. And next week's kind of long for Arsenal. United and Chelsea, same week. And St. Mary's before that. God. Seriously, wake up and smell this coffee. It's brazy. Absolutely brazy, man. It's so brazy. So scared. I feel I don't know the fear I have. I'm actually very scared. Oh, sorry, people. Could you not do that? Right, all right, mate. Oh, sorry, folks. Why has it done that? I'm trying to share my screen with you lot. I don't know what it's on. Hey, can you lot hear me? Where am I? I'm still here. I'm still out here, man. I'm still out here. Let's look at the good old Athletic and see what they're doing. Spurs will drop points against Burnley. I don't know, man. Listen, I Brighton, sorry. I hope they do, but like I said, Graham Potter's whoring himself out for them, man, all the time. I expect them to get battered, man. Declan Rice reveals Dembele wink and Leon tweet spurred West Ham on to reach semi-finals, of course, because now the man they got egg on their faces. He said there were a few incentives for us to go out there and win tonight. Obviously, Dembele winking at the camera in the first leg, and then their Twitter admin somehow saying they don't see how they're not going through. Hey, I can't lie. This is why the beef with Brighton's always kicking off. Those things come back to bite you. We stayed quiet, put in a performance, and now West Ham are in the semis. What more do we want? Trust, and big up you lot, but I can't lie. West Ham acting like the bloody wonder thing is quite cringy. But yeah, apparently Tariq Mitchell and Elise will return to Crystal Palace for the Chelsea tie. Having no Conor Gallagher, you might have half a chance. Conte is to be in the Spurs dugout after Brighton following his COVID-19 test, people. Klopp called on we spoke about this yesterday. Klopp called on BT to move Liverpool's fixture against Newcastle, and it's not. I would be doing the same thing because Liverpool actually, for a team that hasn't only just started bringing in depth, they've done quite well to manage injuries, to minimize injuries, and be competing literally on all fronts. They're not helped by TV. Nobody's helped by TV, right? You've got games being moved for TV purposes, already congested fixture calendar list. Half of these players are going off to play bullshit friendlies more time. Yes, it's a World Cup year, but 9 times out of 10, the preseason schedule, player welfare is something that needs to be looked into, and probably mental fatigue. But people like to sit there and say, oh, the man they get paid though. But yeah, that's what Declan Rice said. Xavi is angry at how so many Frankfurt fans secured Nou Camp tickets for Barcelona's Europa League defeat. I mean, they bought the tickets, so they're allowed to do what they want. But your club could have clearly thought, well, that can't all be Barca fans. You put money first. The fans obviously made it big, but you lot, man, are meant to be Barcelona. It's not meant to matter what the fans are doing. You lot are meant to be able to play in hostile environments. A bit unfair that Frankfurt were allowed to play at home in both legs, but yeah, it is what it is. Xavi was angry at how many fans were there, skipping to what he said. Clearly, the atmosphere did not help, and the club is looking into why this happened. The players want to know why too. It was a clear miscalculation on our part. Excuses. This cannot be allowed to happen again. It was more like a final with the stadium divided. All right. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with this. Apparently, Laporte said it's a disgrace what has happened. I feel embarrassed. As a Kula, I feel ashamed, and I'm really sorry about what I've seen. Arojo has said, they're baffled, more or less, as players. Just seems a bit spoiled and bullshit to me. Like, what the fuck? You're meant to be Barca. This is meant to be irrelevant to you. Like, what the hell? You man, that shit. You know that, innit? I know you got the youngest sort of rattled, bro. Man, bro. This guy's a dickhead. These guys, and obviously Pedri had to come off because he sustained an injury. This guy's a prick. It's all bullshit. They got ripped. The fans are not the reason Eric Garcia is grabbing man and conceding pens. Not the reason people are allowing my man to shoot. You know, you couldn't deal with, rather than ask why you couldn't deal with the back five, why Aubameyang's missing chances, why Osman Dembele looks like the only player that's there, while after seeing Pedri and Gavi as great as they are, talented, probably going to be two of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielders in the world one day. You saw away from home in the first leg that, again, it's nothing to do with ability. It's all the other external factors. Them young men are not really ready to carry the team like that on their shoulders. Instead, you did that. It was Kalas. The only thing you did right was Garcia, Mingueza, Midi, Midi when he came on. You know, Busquets, these man, you don't even know they're playing. Jordi Alba getting torn a new one, left, right, and center as well more time. You did, it's Midi. And it just sounds spoiled. It sounds arrogant. It's like, we're Barcelona. Like, bro, it's an idiot thing. Of course, it's going to be like a bloody final. Frankfurt are playing bloody Barcelona, having drawn the first leg with a chance to go to the semis. Of course, everyone on their nan's going to shout out to the Frankfurt fans. Them and they rode deep and regulated your stadium. You know, what do you expect? What do you expect is going to happen? They're going to do anything. Once again, you lot play at Barcelona. You lot play for Barcelona. You play at the Camp Nou. That should be one of the most intimidating grounds. I've been to watch a game there. Do you know how massive the pitch is? Do you know, bro? Players should be, you know, players should sink the minute they step onto the Camp Nou. But you, man, are meaty. Allow it, man. I hope there is a Basuma masterclass against Brighton, but them men are going to do meaty stuff, man. If you were Klopp, what's your front three for this game against City? The usual suspects, you know. I know his form has been on the floor, but Salah, Mane, and I'd probably go towards Firmino, you know. I think Jota's just too frustrating over 90 minutes. Like, even though he scored against City and he's a goal threat and he, you know, you switch off for a second, he'll punish you. I just think Firmino is the one, really. Jota off the bench might do a thing. But then again, you've got Diaz. Diaz could play. It's just the only reason I said no to Diaz is because I actually think you got to get Firmino in there, man. Domenico Tedesco, can't pronounce his name, but he seems to be one of them that they all rate in terms of being a tactician and all them things. Don't forget, in 8 minutes, Twitch gang, I'm going to be live again, but we're also, you know, going to be on YouTube as well. We're going to talk Max Aarons, Darwin Núñez, etc., etc. I can't lie, Salah looks mentally fatigued. He still looks like he's still feeling sorry for himself with AFCON. He still looks like he's struggling psychologically in that regard. So maybe you could drop him for that, and if it wasn't Salah, if it was anyone else and not Salah, and that, maybe there's every reason to drop him, really. But maybe it's the romance in me. I always feel if there's ever a time for someone's form to go out the window and to start patterning and playing well and doing all these things, surely it's the semi-final. And it's Salah, innit? It's like Pochettino. You could argue not starting Kane and Moura, or starting Moura ahead of Kane in that final against Liverpool cost him. But it's Kane, innit? Like, you've got to play the man there. So it's a political one, man. I don't know. Let's just say I'm happy I'm not Jurgen Klopp. But then again, if you're Chelsea, who do you play? I think you're better to do the false nine, but do you go with an out-and-out one? I would drop Salah. Listen, if Salah's dropped, you can't complain, innit? Like, if it wasn't Salah, if it was anyone else's form and, you know, pardon me, Salah wasn't Salah, then, bro, you can't complain, innit? He should really be dropped. Arguably, you could say Diaz, Jota should probably be in the like pecking order ahead of him just on form. But then again, it's Mr. Excellent Finish. It's Mr. Mo Salah. If it does persist, you know, I do think the papers are going to start writing things. Oh, is it a loss of form? Is he disillusioned? So we're going to have to see, man. Really going to have to see in that regard. Brazy, man. Very brazy. I think Jota is injured. In fact, you're right, you know. So, yeah, Jota is irrelevant then. I think you're right, you know. I think you're right. So, yeah. I wouldn't have started Jota anyways. Off topic, people. Bit fucked up, but thought I'd mention it. Police are looking for former Benfica, Atletico Madrid, and current Boca Juniors player Eduardo Slavio. He is being accused of having ran over his girlfriend with his car after she reportedly caught him with another woman. And then someone under the tweet said, correction, he didn't run her over. The accusation is that he attempted, and it's not his girlfriend, but an ex that got jealous of his new woman. Mad thing, innit? Mad thing. I hope everyone's fit and healthy. I hope everyone's got their health and that. But that is Mazza. That sounds so brazy. That's mad still. I'd pick the same Chelsea team that played Real Madrid. To be fair, again, they all deserve to start in it. Chelsea went out, but yeah, everybody deserves a place. Really and truly. The only one that you could probably argue if you're Chelsea that could get dropped is probably N'Golo Kante. But then again, you know what Kante can give you if the game's a certain sort of way, or you could bring in Jorginho, Kovacic, etc. You know how that script goes, people. On that note, though, people, just because I'm aware of time, one love to you lot being tuned in. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. It's not done because you lot just refresh your tabs. 5 minutes we go live again. I'm not going to cap. I'm going to go and make some toast. So it's more going to be like 10 minutes, but 5 minutes. So yeah, we're going to be live again. We're going to focus a tiny bit more on Arsenal, people. I'll be 100% honest with you. But yeah, it is what it is. Klopp has demanded a different level from Liverpool. Ahead of this game as well, people. He wants them to go up a gear, and probably just based on the last one, they need to. Apparently, Man United have turned to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium visionaries for Old Trafford redevelopment. As you know, even my brethren went Old Trafford. They said, I can't believe it. Biggest club in the league, one of the biggest clubs in the world. He said the VAR thing is on the billboards. They ain't got their own screen. The leak is leaking. The roof is leaking. Man United taking a piss. How have you not, like, again, my boy's a Spurs fan. He went with my other brethren that's a United fan to their game at Old Trafford the other day, Leicester game. He said, you see the advertising billboard. He said that's where the VAR decision comes. I mean, that's a broke thing for United. Come on, man. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. That's crazy. That's a broke thing by you lot. UEFA could sanction Atletico Madrid and City as well, people. But on that, let me get out, pattern it, make sure you're here again. Apparently, I could be moving to Man United. Apparently, Tottenham star Steven Bergwijn could become the first signing of Erik ten Hag's revolution at Man United. I mean, that's purely coincidental that I've just seen that on the internet. But yeah, man, I'll see you lot in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. If you have to go off and do what you're doing with the day, then bless up. Don't forget, people, we're here at 10:30. We're going to YouTube at 11:30. 1:30 is going to be me and Mo. 4:30 is FM. Bro, Old Trafford is tired, man. They need to pattern that up, man. Really need to pattern that up. But you lot stay calm, stay blessed, appreciative of all your support. Make sure you're following, subscribing, watching the adverts and the rest of it. See you lot in a second.
There's always that active red flag, defending. I think it's like